Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss the unidentified, the unexplainable, paranormal, conspiracies, and much more. Starring your host and co-hosts, Jenny Nicasio, Sean Kelly, Trish Lowe, and Jason Sledgehammer Ryan Petro. Brought to you by UPRN Network. Now for your host, Jenny Nicasio.
Good evening and welcome to Chasing Prophecy on the UPRN Radio Network, FM 105.3 New Orleans, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jenny Nicasio, along with my co-host, Sean Kelly, the Vampire Slayer, as just the amazing Jason I. Petro, and the fabulous Trish Moe. You're welcome. We discuss
welcome to Torture Tuesday.
Everything and everything beyond the scope of normal. So yeah, welcome to Jason. Jason Michael.
Jason.
You know what it is? Okay, come on, Trish. What are we at? Come on, moon phases. We're almost there.
Well, I thought also it's the 12th. I mean, that's portal day.
Okay. That's. I just went into the wrong portal. Maybe that's it. It should be a fun show tonight, though. That's good. That's good. Okay. Well, we have an interesting show for you tonight. We're going to discuss some really strange things that have been happening on the UFO front. There's been a lot of. We mentioned it last week. Remember when on the Sun, Sean said, "Oh, how reliable is a tabloid, the Sun?" Well, right after I put it on, it was all over the news, Fox, CNN, CBS, NBC, and they're talking about that really strange disclosure with the UFOs about the radiation and the people that are being abducted. And we're going to play a couple audio clips before we bring our guest on, because he's going to help us debunk this or discuss this. So you be the judge of this. Okay. So let's go ahead and play some of these. Now, of course, I'll probably won't be able to find them because that's me. Okay. Dyslexia Jen. I can't help it. That's what I am. Okay. Ready, guys? Let's play some of these.
Well, thousands of previously classified documents regarding UFOs have now been released to the public. And some of the stories include alien abductions, electrical paralysis, and even sexual encounters.
Yeah, just some bizarre stuff. Fox 35's William Lajeunesse has the shocking details from this 1,500-page report.
Pilots tracking unidentified objects, balls of light suspended over the ocean, UFOs chasing warships, all part of a growing body of sightings of UAPs or unidentified aerial phenomena.
They're going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Now comes something even more explosive, a 1,500-page Pentagon report of previously classified documents cataloging accounts from witnesses and victims claiming radiation burns, brain damage, even paralysis after close encounters with UAPs.
This is the most haunting of all the reports from my perspective, because it shows immunological deficiency. It shows altering human DNA. It shows degradation on a cellular level.
Prepared in 2010 by the Pentagon's secret Advanced Aerospace Weapons Program, the report was released only after a Freedom of Information request. It found sufficient accidents have been accurately reported, and medical data acquired as to support a hypothesis that some advanced systems are already deployed and opaque to full U.S. understandings.
This is from within the documents themselves.
The report says humans have been injured from exposure to UFOs, from abductions and perceived time loss to sexual encounters and unexplained pregnancies.
We're talking about an area where there is intervention with the human being on such a level that is beyond just negative health effects. Some of this stuff is really bizarre.
So what's next? While this program ended in 2010, Corbell says the Pentagon continues to study UFOs, and more military videos and documents are likely to be released this year. The response from the Pentagon. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
Okay, now we have a different perspective from another audio clip. These are astronomers, so I think this is going to be pretty interesting too. So let me go ahead and play that before we bring on our guest, Jesse. Okay. Of course, I probably can't find it now. And I don't think I can find it now because it's not here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring our guest on, and while we're chatting, I'm going to look that up because I think it's really it's very informative. So let me go ahead and bring our guests on the show. But let me introduce him first. Jesse Peak, a certified Mufon Field investigator for State of Pennsylvania Mufon Experience Resource Team. That's ERT. Sorry about the background and my little doggy, investigator for the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies with certifications in astronomy, space exploration, space advocacy, oh my goodness, case management, introduction to computer technology. Well, he's a very popular boy. He's public speech speaking. Oh my God, investigation. Sorry. We're going to go ahead and introduce him because I don't think my dog's going to let me do this tonight. This is what happens when you work at home, guys. So let me go ahead and introduce Jesse Peak. Welcome to Chasing Prophecy, Jesse.
Hey, everybody. How you doing tonight?
Welcome.
Hey, welcome.
How are you tonight?
Doing well, doing well.
Good.
Everybody else?
Now you heard the tape, didn't you? Did you hear it? Yeah.
Yep.
So go ahead and give us a little bit of insight into what you do before we get to, into the more discussion segment of the show. So go ahead and give us your, 5 minutes. Go ahead.
My name's Jesse Peak. I'm a MUFON certified field investigator in the state of Pennsylvania, city of Philadelphia. I also work for MUFON's ERT, which is the Experiencer Resource Team, where we work with experiencers, people that have been abductees, contactees. And we basically work as a counselor, a therapist, and we are their open ear to listen to their problems. We also find help for them, go to meetings with them, try to find similarities in their case to find answers to what's going on with them. And I'm also an advocate for the Planetary Society, pretty much all over the place, and a member of the SCU. And so I'm all in, that's what I'm about.
Yeah. So what do you since you're MUFON, I used to do MUFON. I used to be a field investigator for Westmoreland County in Pennsylvania. So I pretty much know what a MUFON investigator does. And I know these guys, they've heard of you, especially Sean and Jason. We'd had a number of them on the show before. Trish, I don't know. Trish, you know what they do, right?
Yeah. I just interviewed a previous MUFON director, Jill Weaver, last week, actually.
So, they go and they investigate, but you do more than just, you're really into that though. I know, like some of them, like there was a star.
Yeah, I mean, we go out if we have to go out and get in the field and actually meet the person one-on-one, we'll actually do an investigation. I have all my equipment to go out in the field and actually do that. And we can also do some of the regular, CE1s. We can do that over the phone or through email because I'm familiar with the area. We have tons of different programs we can use to figure out different astronomical stuff. We have different things where we can follow FAA flight patterns. So we could basically get down to the answer of your sighting. We usually say about 94% of stuff can be explained, and there's about 6% that is that unknown that we look for. So that's the basic gist of it. And the ERT, we just, it's just like working with an individual as a counselor. It's really rewarding in itself to help another individual find answers to their problems, especially because of how deep some of them go. I guess we'll be talking about some of that now with the new Pentagon report.
Yeah. So tell us what do you think about what's going on? I mean, why would they suddenly do this? I mean, if they had this for so long and they're just starting to talk about it now. So what do you think's going on? Do you think there's something happening? Are these legit reports, or is this just some kind of distraction?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have information on this. So I could see it being true. I guess us that have been in the field for a very, very long time, the veterans and people that have been in it for years, we're kind of familiar with the fact that this happens on an everyday basis, and we pretty much know it's true already. So this is just basically confirmation for us, and it's good to have that out there because, I mean, what can you say? I mean, what you can't really defend against that when you're talking about, people with radiation burns, encounters of intense heat, sexual encounters, physiological effects. We're talking about paralysis, pain, rashes, and amnesia. I mean, it's crazy. intense. So,
Intense. So, okay, so we've seen reports of, there's not myself. I've never seen a report like that. I mean, I've seen the files. I read the files on Mufon. So, if they're saying they're legit, do you think that they have other material that they're hiding, or are they ever going to release those, whatever they have?
yeah, well, I interviewed Don Schmidt and Tom Carey and Kevin Randall about the Roswell incident. And they talked about with all three of them talking about it. We talked about, the different people that got a hold of that material and how they transferred it to one military base to another, all the way up to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and other different military installations around the world. And they're doing tests on it. So I would believe in a heartbeat that they have something that they're not telling us about. I mean, you got to think about, we have the iPhone 13 right now that's out in the public view. They're probably working on the iPhone 25 or iPhone 30,
Okay, so you definitely think like that there is a technology, like an alliance with technology, that they're giving us this technology? Or do you think
I don't know if they necessarily gave it to us. They might have got it in maybe a crash retrieval. I mean, there's just too much evidence. If you really look through all the documents and, the declassified documents, John Greenwald does a great job of doing that and releasing the FOIA requests. So, I mean, if you really look through all that, it's there, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Sean, what do you think about all this?
I'll leave I have to say, Jesse, just listening to you for the first 5 minutes, you have been the most knowledgeable one on this subject that I have interviewed, that's been on our show.
Thank you.
For me, okay, I'm a ghost hunter. Okay. I have PPS and I have seen ghosts. Okay. And dealt with them. And being on the show for a while, I have finally hopped the fence and started believing aliens and stuff, UFOs. But to me, it feels like that it's a real big government cover-up. And I cannot fathom why they have to keep things so quiet. It's real. I don't understand that. And that's where my problem is with all this. So I did do a little research on you, and I did listen to some of your stuff, and I'm glad you're on the show, and I hope to find out more.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I kind of got a little theory behind, why they're still covering up stuff. Because if you look at the reports that came out in June 25th report, they go back to 2004, but they don't go back any years before that. And this phenomenon has been happening for 70, 75 plus years. Even before that, we even got reports in the late 1800s of people writing in their diaries of sightings in the sky. And if in these reports, they only go back to 2004 until the present day. And they're trying to make this seem like it's more of a recent phenomenon than it is, been for our lifetime. And the reasons because of that is because I believe that people have been ridiculed, their lives have been ruined, people have been sent to mental institutions. I mean, people have been silenced, if you want to go that far.
Yeah.
People that have been super credible, PhDs, authors, scientists that really got into the field, and the government goes and hushes them up. And same thing with the crash retrieval stuff and the technology. I mean, if they go back and say, yeah, it's been true all these years, then they have to, they have to hold themselves accountable to all that they've done, and I don't think they want that mess in their hands. So that's why they're trying to only go back so far.
Jason.
Yes.
What do you say?
So we're talking about technology. In the past, I've heard that the military and government are actually 10 years advanced over what the general public knows we are technology wise. Is it possible that the government and military are using this much more advanced technology and finding all these extraterrestrials and aliens now, but then waiting till later to release it to the public, say when we finally get our hands on that line of technology?
Yeah, we were talking about this, because why now are they coming out with all this documentation and coming in the news with the stuff? And a lot of people think that there's something that's going to happen that they can't control, and they got to prepare us for it. And in a sense, a lot of the stuff that they're catching on, they caught on the West Coast in 2017 and 2000. Well, that's when they came out, but in 2004 on the Nimitz and the carriers that were out there. Some of those videos that they shown, especially in the infrared, the triangles, there was flashing lights on. It looked like to me that they were some kind of FAA drones. So I wouldn't doubt that the military has some of this technology and has reverse engineered it, and have those capabilities to do that, because they know about this going on, this phenomenon. They know it's an important phenomenon. Look how far back we can get them documenting it. So I believe they had that technology, and they have reverse engineered it for sure.
But see, here's where, I was in the Navy, and I was on the aircraft carrier USS Independence, and I was on another ship, and I was out at sea for almost 3 years, and I didn't see a damn UFO.
Right. I'm ex-Army. I didn't see anything either. But you're a Navy, so you have no orders.
So when I see those like movies or whatever, I believe it's something else. I don't think it's UFOs actually going after the Nimitz. I really don't believe that.
No, I don't believe that either. No, not at all. I just believe that those things are out there, not that they're attacking us or anything like that. And I believe there's definitely other life out there somewhere. The universe is way too big, and then when you start getting the astronomy aspect of it all, and you look at how many planets there are, it's mind-boggling.
Trish, your thoughts. We know what your
Yeah,
thoughts are.
I will get in trouble if I say what I want to say. So I find it ironic that all these people like that news broadcast said have all these symptoms of immune deficiency and all of those things, which just so happens to be right after the world shuts down for a few years. And so that's a lot to, you gotta blame someone. Unfortunately, it's the aliens, but that's just but yes, I agree that the documentation of UFOs has been there since, in every culture, in every religion, in every society, since pretty much the beginning of time as we know it. So in my own personal experience, the problem I have with this, which I know a lot of people will probably start coming forward, especially in your field of work, is the MILABs, because that's probably like 80% of my experience. So, being abducted. So, that's kind of where I stand on the issue, I guess.
Well, we're gonna listen to another audio, and I hope I don't screw this up because I just did it 2 seconds ago. I screwed it up. I tried to do it. This is, of course, it disappeared on me again. Oh my lord, why is this happening to me? Okay,
it's Torture Tuesday. It's the Gremlins.
Yeah. Okay, listen up.
Imagine looking up at the night sky and being left with nerve damage or feeling an electrical shock. These are a couple of the UFO-induced effects in the Pentagon's report.
My first thought was this was kind of the first time I've seen something in any way official coming from the government that talks about things like this.
Douglas Leonard is an astronomy professor. He held a stargazing party Thursday evening. He gave one explanation of what a UFO sighting can sometimes be.
It's on the crash course ride, Joe. 18,000 miles per hour. Most people looking at that would say, I think I've just seen a UFO. I've never seen anything like that. But then 1% of us know that's the International Space Station. And every few nights, it makes a pass like this.
His students say the Pentagon documents led them to more questions.
We still don't know if it's just another country's super advanced, airplanes or stuff that we can't detect.
The report does confirm the incidents were accurately reported, and medical data was collected. Some people reported paralysis, perceived time loss, and marks left on their bodies. It leaves scientists scratching their heads.
These things just remain sort of mysteries, and you investigate it, and sometimes you just never come up with a good answer.
And if you think that you had a UFO sighting, Professor Leonard says it could have actually been the planet Venus, which has a glow that is often mistaken for alien spaceships. Reporting.
There you go. It's another on astronomer's point of view.
I thought that was the worst interview ever.
Oh.
Go, yes.
Go, Trish.
So I find it ironic, like I was saying, that everything she just said in that report, if you look up under Wikipedia, Project MK Ultra,
Yeah.
they use, this is quote, electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture.
I did not know that.
Well,
there you go. Trish, you just
isn't that uncanny?
So it could be mind control. Just like everything we've been going through lately is all mind control, I think. I mean, you guys don't like to debunk, or
pharmacy. Well, how do I say that so we won't get
off?
Yes, like zombie apocalypse type things for to prevent an outbreak of a zombie apocalypse. There's certain things that people get in their like arms or something. I don't know.
Like microchip?
Oh no, but that too. I mean, that's a good point. And I thought about that today with all these, when people are talking, it's all over the place. If you look at the number of car accidents, people are like, I don't know, I got dizzy and all of a sudden, blah, blah, blah. And that, if we all do have microchips or implants or something, as far as from the government, and I know in Kansas alone, I just looked it up, all of these towers all over and satellites, there's like 400 in my area alone.
Do you think that the 5G towers is causing this?
I just know after the shutdown, while we were all peacefully minding our own business at our own homes, and then you go out and they pop up all over the place all of a sudden. That's faster than construction workers get stuff done. Like how like it's, they're just all over. No, but I'm saying like all of a sudden there's in 2 months, 3 months, there's these towers that I never noticed, but I hadn't been, out on the roads or in traveling to other cities or anything like that in those 3 months. And now all of a sudden they're all over the place. And y'all know, I'm sensitive to that stuff. So I'm like a bat, and they completely screw me up as far as directional abilities and stuff when they turn them on and everything. So.
Right. Yeah, I just recently got my EMF meter. It does radiation, electrical fields, magnetic fields, and I just went around my house just looking at stuff. And I mean, you're talking about when your phone turns on, the TV, the microwave is the worst when you have it on, and you should see the readings that it gives off. So you can imagine what these 5G towers are giving off.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole EMF reader is going red and making noises as soon as I turn the microwave on, and that's even just going near the TV when the TV's on. So that's how much radiation we're taking in, and how many magnetic fields.
Oh, even our cell phones. I think one of my meters hit like 140.
Yeah.
For one time, just from a cell phone. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, my dad's the other day was 170 when I tested his.
Jeez.
That's high, man.
And you combine that with like power grids and everything else, it's toxic. Well, it's definitely toxic to animals and plants and everything, much less humans.
Yep. And we were talking about the other day about the birds that you just mentioned. It can make flocks of birds just die to the ground and kill themselves. It's incredible if you ever seen the videos of it.
Yeah.
Not in a good way, but I mean it's insane what these things can do. So what else is it doing that we don't know about?
It's you don't know what to think. I mean, there's so many with everything going on right now. If you look at it from an alien perspective, okay, take yourself away from being a human being, and you're looking down at us, and you're seeing all this crazy shit going on with the war in Ukraine. Now the virus is mutating. That there's trying to scare us, okay, and you have a president that they're making fun of on, I don't know if you saw the reports today that I'm not sure what country it is. They did like an SNL skit of him sleeping.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was on Jesse Waters, and it was also on a different one of them YouTube videos. I forget which one it was. And you see how we are it seems like our temperament, our emotions aren't stable. Like it seems like everybody is triggered lately. Like anything can trigger you. You can be sitting just like the shooter in New York today.
Yeah.
It seems like there's so much going on. And then there was this, I don't know if you heard, Jesse, about the Secret Service imposter.
Yes.
There's two of them. Okay, so they're being investigated. But if you're thinking outside the box of Earth and you're watching this, sometimes you wonder if somebody isn't actually doing this, that they're the alien. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? That they might not be doing it. Maybe they're doing it to us. And they're just waiting for that opportunity to make themselves known when we are, the most vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? They're waiting for us to be so screwed up, mentally, then they'll make themselves known. Because we will be so, I don't know what the word would be, that we would be just so
zombie-like.
Yeah, numb, like to do anything about it. Like you can't be shocked because we've been maybe desensitized. How can we're going through all this stuff. What's one more thing? I mean, come on, alien invasion. You know what I'm saying? Who cares?
But if it's like a reverse psychology thing, like I was implying, then turning everyone against them before they get here would be ingenious because we would be on the wrong side to begin with, just due to programming and stuff. Because as I've mentioned before, in my own experience, and who knows what their agenda was, but there has been certain extraterrestrials, I believe, that actually have saved me, possibly from humans.
Right.
So
Possibility, yeah.
it changed my perspective. I'm like, well, okay, so whose side am I on? Like, so I'm not afraid of aliens anymore. I've always said, like, man's the greatest monster in this universe.
Oh my God, yeah, that's exactly that is so true. Like you're
I mean, look what we do
Do we
to
ever
our own
wonder if
kind.
aliens look at us and like, look at these aliens?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, think about
We're
it.
like,
You're
what
right.
the hell is wrong with you?
I'm going to bring
crazy.
this up real quick. You were saying that the aliens are like, sending us bad energy or mojo, whatever, and making us like, like a zombie. Like,
Yeah.
Is it possible that it is not an alien, but someone in high government
Oh yeah.
pushing buttons? See, that's why, because I think, aliens are good. I really believe it. I think they're good.
I don't know, Jesse. I don't think
the ball.
there's so many different races of them. Like we were making fun of this one show that's called People of Earth. Now on the show, it's comedy, but they must have did their research because they had the Nordics, they had the Greys, they have the reptilian, and there's like the Nordics are real nice, and they're like sort of like Ashtar, and then you have the mean Greys, like the evil demented Greys, and then you have the reptilians that are more like an intelligent, like they're like more like human, but they're not. They probably are scary because they look like snakes, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But
they probably think we look scary.
But you know what? Well, if you think about it, we could be from no, this isn't funny, but like the reptilian, the part of your brain that's reptilian. I mean, we might be a hybrid of a reptilian, if we have that part of the brain. Jesse.
Yes.
Put you on the spot, bro.
Yeah, putting you on the spot. What do you think? I mean, I
We
know
have
that
reptile brains.
I don't know.
From air.
I hear that from my experiencers and my experience.
There's more. There's like 9 different races or something.
Well, I mean, there could be, I don't know, you could put any number on it. We really don't know for sure. But from my experience and from other people's experiences that I've dealt with, the reptilians are a negative entity. And that's what I've been around the most. You know, I
Yeah,
haven't
they're
really,
negative, but I think they're more intelligent than the Greys. I think they have a more of a well, maybe.
yeah, well,
Mm,
people tell me that the Greys are more, how do you say, like not, I guess, like a robot. They kind of do the hard work.
yeah.
They come down, they get you, they bring you up, and then some kind of other being comes in the room, and they're really the ones that are in charge.
And
Like,
there's an alliance between the different races, of alien that they work together. So I don't know if that's these are coming from reports of people that actually saw them because when they actually are their cases of being abducted, they said there's more. There's many different kinds. There's one guy in a suit. There's
Mhm.
one guy that's short, Trish, like a small bean, and then there's the one that looks like Ashtar, with the light.
Praying mantis. All the, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
them.
So what are your views on that, Jesse? Do you think that they have an alliance with each other, that they work together?
I would have to think some of them work together if they're all here and that this is happening. Yeah, absolutely. I think some have to be in cahoots together, and then others are probably not, probably bumping heads. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why some crashes happen sometimes. Maybe, they're bumping heads up there and they come crash landing down, or something happens, and
And
possibility.
what are your thoughts on the Sumerian race? Do you think that the Sumerian race is there from outer space and we are actually their offsprings?
I've heard stories about that, but I don't know for sure. I can't really say for sure, and I don't want to say something and then it be, you know what I mean? Because I know everybody's experience is different. Everybody's experience is their own, and I don't want to say one thing but I've had my own experience. I'm an experiencer myself, and
Okay. Well, tell us about your experience.
So I found out about my experience. I really realized that I was, having experiences. I had my cat come in my room every night. She'd be sitting at the end of my bed, and they say animals can see in a different frequency. They can see different levels of light. So she's sitting at the end of my bed, and I have her come in every night. And she's at the end of my bed, and the lights are out, and she's always comes in and sits at the end of my bed. And this started happening out of nowhere. She would look towards my closet, and she'd be watching something, like someone's walking and moving and dangling stuff in front of her. Her ears would prick up. And I'm like, what are you looking at? And this happened on and on and on. I had woken up in the middle of the night sometimes, being shoved in my back while I was sleeping. Things like that. So I got to the point where, I was shoved one night. I stayed still and looked down, and there was a handprint in the bed sheet of my cover.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's amazing.
that kind of confirmed that something was happening. And then I had Margie Kay. She's the assistant director for Missouri Mufon. She is a remote viewer. And I had her remote view my situation, and she told me that there was a portal in my room, and that there was a tall, skinny ET pointing to a place that had a river or a stream at the bottom and a mountain connected to it that was going up. And he was trying to show me that, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out my experience. You know what I mean? I'm still working through it. And I've been trying to figure out what this place is. Now I have dreams. They're different dreams, but they're usually in that same place, which is a place with water and a mountain, which I've just started to realize this might be that place that they're trying to show me.
Oh my goodness.
So, because I'd be back in the military, and I'd be in basic training, and we're doing tightrope over top of the water at the lake, but it's connected to the mountain. Like, these are the dreams that I'm having, and this
Oh
is what
my goodness.
So then every time I'm out, I'm camping with the family, and we're at the bottom of the mountain, and we're swimming in the lake, and it's the same place every time, but a little different. You know what I mean? So then I start thinking about back to my childhood, and I'm like, so if this has happened, this has probably been happening my whole life. So let me think about these things. So I realized that when I was I think I was like 2, maybe 3 years old, I had sleptwalked twice, and I've never sleptwalked my entire life, not even the rest until today. It was just those 2 times, and that was it. I supposedly I sleptwalk. I lived in an apartment building. I unlocked my front door at 2 or 3 years old, walked down 2 flights of steps, and walked into my cousin's house. I knocked on the door and said hello. Don't remember none of that. And I remember the next thing I remember is sitting on the couch watching TV. It happened one other time too. So I'm like, is this maybe I was taken and I was put back in front of the wrong door, and I knocked on my cousin's door downstairs instead of knocking on my door, or something like that. So there's little things that are starting to add up, and it's like maybe this has been this way the whole time. The whole time growing up, I felt that someone has been watching over me. I don't know how many times I got into dirty situations or bad situations. Someone trying to rob me. And instead of being stabbed, I'm walking away with my life. And, it went a certain way to where he had to run off, things like that. And it's like, okay, well, I always thought my whole life this was my guardian angel looking over me. You know what I mean? Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else looking over me.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Sure.
How do you know it's not something other than like a ghost or a loved one that
I was
passed
just going
away?
to ask that.
I would completely be open to that. But the whole reason I went into that direction is because of what Margie had told me during the remote viewing session. She said it's an ET that I've never seen before. I've never seen anything like this. She actually told me it weirded her out, the being. She said it was super tall. She had never seen a tall being like that. Super long arms, super long fingers, and a really long head. And it was tall, pointing to this place.
A long head.
Now, I've had other communications in between with these beings, or one or whoever. I've connected and been on a frequency where I've been able to hear them in ways. I focused on meditation and being able to tap into that frequency and being able to be like an open antenna to receive, but I haven't been able to put out. There's been tons of stuff like this happening, and lately I've been having some negative experiences. So I don't know what changed, and I'm trying to figure that out as well. So it's still an ongoing thing, constantly learning, constantly trying to write down things and put pieces to the puzzle together. So that's basically the gist of my experience.
I was just going to ask if did you say you do know where that location might have been that you had dreams about, the mountain and the water?
I don't know where that location would physically be. Just in the dreams, it's always that place doing something different, and things are slowly, like little things are changed,
Only because last night, Phil and Julia Syracusa from Horsefly Chronicles, Phil was abducted. He was talking about that, and I'm like, there's something about your living room. Why do I keep getting? And they had a picture on the wall of a mountain like running down to a stream and a lake, and I'm like, why do I keep looking at that? Why is that so familiar? Like, why is that? So that's crazy that you.
That is weird. It's like
You'll have to. I mean, it's exactly like you just described too. So.
That's interesting.
And he said the same thing, that he started having negative experiences. So
see, and then it's things like this where I'm like, okay, was I meant to come here and talk to you about
yes.
And then you start thinking about that, and it's like, is this all supposed to be, or am I just crazy?
You're not crazy. Don't worry about that.
You're not crazy.
We're all mad here.
I have a what does that say, Jason? Can you read that?
Just got here. Not sure how much I missed, but a question for the guest. Did he have anything happen as a child? Example, dreams, missing time.
Well, that those two experiences where I had that missing time, and I think I was probably, what happened was they probably took me, and then I'm thinking that they put me back in the wrong place, and I was still out of it. So that's why I knocked on my cousin's door and sat there, and I found out that this was actually like 2:30, 3:30 in the morning a.m. So it wasn't like it was during the day or some normal time in the day. This was in the middle of the night.
Did you see what he looked like? I mean, besides, did you? Because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people who channel, and they get that Ashtar guy. I don't know, what I'm talking about. No, I mean, there's a number of different people that I have talked to who are interested in being a guest on the show, and they talk about Ashtar. It's like they all talk about Ashtar.
I've never heard that name.
Ashtar is
really
a galactic tourist. What is he? He's aboard a galactic. There's like a federation that are
he's a blonde-headed dude. It's just like,
They believe he's a Nordic, kind of like leader of some sort of the galactic,
Oh, okay.
what is it, Confederation or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
that
Dresses in
that
blue.
communicates with them. But I don't know. That seems like I
Because they're
feel, and
more
I've
like
said this
they're
to.
like guardians, though. Like, aren't they, Trish? They're like
I
guardians to protect.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what people who communicate with this entity believe, and I don't know either way, but it's so the stories I've heard I get from that are I don't know. I just from my own communication with extraterrestrials and stuff, I don't know if I trust that. Like I feel like people are being manipulated by something that they don't, it's kind of leading them
Understand.
into yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And like I said, I mean, I don't know for sure,
Well,
but it's
the
sketchy for me.
it is sketchy, and the reason why I'm saying that because I was making fun of Ashtar last week, guys. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Don't make fun of things.
What,
So I
Ashtar come to you in your dream?
well, no, but
Of
I
course.
started to YouTube him, and I come across a YouTube video, and I told my son about it too, and I said I can't get it out of my head. He had like a message,
Yeah.
and it said somebody had channeled him, and they broadcasted the message. It was 0010111. I can't get that number out of my head.
Oh,
The
that's a
Matrix.
hex code. Yeah, that's a hex code. I mean, that's like in
And I can't get it out of my head though, because I keep going and I want to learn more about Ashtar. And I was wondering because people, like these people in the audience, ladies and gentlemen, we're
But
talking about divine meanings, and this
yeah,
entity is communicating through other people. He's channeling, like the MUFON investigator director who did that remote viewing with you, Jesse. But maybe it is this being Ashtar or this divine. Go ahead, Trish. Help me out here.
well, no, but what I was going to say is I'm sure what if there was, in the original and that somebody communicated with an Ashtar. But what I'm saying is now that whoever controls things, the wizard behind the curtain,
Exactly, the wizard behind the curtain.
but whoever does that, caught on to that and is like doing a copycat thing, to make people,
Okay.
they're like, okay, well, this person, like this maybe the first YouTube video, years ago or whatever of Ashtar came out, and it got so much attention that somebody else or something else is like, okay, people pay attention to that. So what if we make them think that we're the same entity? And so I'm not discrediting that there wasn't. I'm just saying I think that a lot of people are being manipulated by and it's very hard to discern, like and that's why I always tell people, you have to even trusting yourself in those
You
situations.
have to totally not. It's sort of like a cult. But
Right.
Ashtar, the first message was channeled in 1952. That's how old how long these people claim to have been seeing or getting this channel message from him.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hey, Jess, you can look at your situation another way. Maybe it could have been angelic who was making you sleepwalk in order to protect you from something that was evil coming to get you.
That's a possibility too. Absolutely.
I've had
I
that
mean,
happen.
if she remoted you and saw this tall, skinny, long arms, who says it could be an angel instead of
Yeah, you're right.
an alien?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But
Yeah,
now,
that's
see,
what I'm thinking.
this year, it started this year in the end of January. I have had 2 or 3 really bad encounters, and so this year it started. I had those encounters, that all happened like towards the middle and end of last year. And then I found out my dad had the same thing happen to him where he was pushed, and I was being pushed too in the middle of the night, and we wake up to that. I mean, not just like shoved. I'm talking about I would wake up to being pushed into the wall and hurting my hand or hitting my elbow. I was pushed that hard. And that's how I'd wake up. And then I found out later on through talks. And my dad knows I'm in the field, but sometimes you got to get it out of him, And he told me, oh my God, I had that happen to me too. So I'm thinking maybe this is been in the family. Maybe this is continuous. But now this year I started having these encounters where would wake up in the middle of the night and be so frightened to the point where I could not even move. I mean, I was shaking, sweating in my bed, and I knew whatever it was either behind me or at my window, and I did not even want to turn to look at it. So I would sit there and cover my head up and just sit there until I felt better or fell back to sleep. And this happened a couple times. And I have no idea what it is. And I usually have really good feelings about things when I feel that way. And I always trust my gut. I can tell this is definitely not the same thing as what it was before, for sure. So,
Yeah.
Have you done any paranormal investigations when you're experiencing these things to maybe try and find out? Because if there's portals, there could be spirits channeling through that could be causing
Yes.
same stuff. You might be thinking it might be, an alien, but it actually could be a demon or it could be a spirit as well.
Right.
The portal. So if you do, an investigation, you might get some answers. Have you thought of anything like that?
I actually never thought about like checking the room with the EMF detector or even any of the other equipment I have. And that's weird. I haven't thought of that. That's just because I am an investigator.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it would make
portal-
sense, especially with that portal, do
Yeah,
some investigating,
that's what I said.
ask some questions, just be very respectful just in
Well, that should
case.
involve some kind of electromagnetic field or magnetic field, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it would. And portals, if you have an open portal, then it would leave room for both to come through, not just not just extraterrestrials, but spirits as well. So, and
Exactly.
like I said, that goes back to the Ashtar thing, and like Jason said, if it was a demon, maybe this demon's like mimicking Ashtar to these people. Maybe this demon's like mimicking ETs. You don't know, because we don't know how they interact. We don't know if extraterrestrials interact with spirits, for that matter. I mean, I'm sure they do. So maybe some of them are at war. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to take a real quick break. I have to do a shout out to my wonderful friends at Ohio. Oh, excuse me, that's the wrong one. The Haunting here. I'm gonna go ahead and play it, guys. Let me tell you about my good friends at the Haunting, Unearthly, and Paranormal Stories podcast. If you're looking for a new podcast that's sure to scare, you're gonna check these guys out. They're great.
Welcome to the Haunting, Unearthly, and Paranormal Stories podcast. Each week will be a different event, whether paranormal or some other strange and unexplained happening. Maybe even a haunting located near you will be examined and relayed to you. These events and stories are based on events have been given to us by the people who experience these events in their own lives.
Check them out. They're going to be on the show, so I'm excited about that. They're going to be on the show in May, so we'll stay tuned to hearing. Thanks again for sponsoring this segment. Okay, guys, back to the show.
Hey, Jess, real quick, if you want to go and start, just to see if there are spirits and using your EMF detector, try to grab somebody that knows what they're doing before you go doing it yourself. Okay,
Right.
That's my suggestion to you.
I was just in Philly a couple weeks ago.
How about that?
Too bad I didn't know about that.
Yeah, right. That would work. Well, my state section director, she's actually bigger into the paranormal than she is the UFO thing. Her and her husband are paranormal investigators, so I might be able to ask them for help. It's just
I
weird.
definitely would. I just after hearing your stories, like I have a real, this is just my hunch. Take it with a grain of salt or whatever. But I feel like it might be something more on the paranormal side. What's happening, with being pushed, and I've had similar experiences like that, and I couldn't explain it, but I just have a hunch that I feel like it's more something paranormal that wants you to know it's there or wants you to figure out who or what it is, to possibly help or
Now, see,
something.
when I asked for this to stop, it did stop. So that's why I thought it was a good entity of whatever,
Well, that could have meant though, if it was an extraterrestrial also, and you asked it to stop, it would be like, oh no, whatever, he's coherent and bigger than me, so not under mind control, not under hypnosis or anything right now. So that means that you could have potentially harmed them, and that's
Right.
like if you kill a bear or you think you did, but it was just knocked out or something. All of a sudden it wakes up. Like,
Right.
Don't poke the bear.
Well, I realized after time that it seemed like a positive entity, but in the beginning, when it all first started happening, when you really have not experienced something like that, you get scared. I mean, it's
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you could definitely get
not,
scared.
you think this is real, but you really don't know it's real until it happens in front of your eyes. So when it first started happening with the cat and being pushed, I was a little freaked out. So I had asked it to stop a couple times, and it did. It completely stopped. But then, I talked to some people and I said, I realized that it wasn't trying to hurt me. Whatever it was, I had a really good feeling about it. My cat did, and she's like if I was a cat, we'd be married. That's what.
You really wasn't that bad,
and
right?
cats ward off evil spirits too. So,
And she was really cool. She liked whatever this was. So it wasn't like, and then, I started asking for it to happen again. And then I kind of had some more experiences, asked it to stop to see if it would work again. It did stop again. And then I kind of, did some meditation. And then after that, like about a month or two later, the negative shit started happening. So
that's was the beginning of your experiences into ufology. Ufology.
yeah, right. A lot of people say, it's probably really starting to happen to you now because you're in the field. You've been doing this, you're helping other people with their experiences. So, some of that coming to you, and you basically put up an antenna when you're working in this field, especially with experiencers.
Yep.
You start noticing them, they start noticing you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing. So tell us about some of your most famous cases that you have investigated with MUFON.
So I guess with MUFON, I really haven't had too many unknowns. There's been a lot. I've been able to basically, I think I've only had one. All the other ones I've been able to identify clearly
as not being UFO.
Right. And that's something that, I try to tell people, don't just hop into the UFO field, take some other stuff too, like astronomy and space exploration, get to know what you're about to jump your feet into, because a lot of people will jump in saying, I believe in UFOs, and they'll go and the training is extensive through MUFON. But still, if I didn't have the astronomy classes and space exploration classes, I wouldn't have known half of the answers to half the cases that I've had. I've been able to figure out stars that happen to show at the same right point in time and it's only visible for an hour, in the same direction at the time the witness saw it, and then it disappeared after that. So, it really does help to have that, But, yeah.
What state are you out of again?
I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so you're in Philadelphia, and you're part of the area that I was involved in.
Mainline MUFON.
Yeah. You've met Stan Gordon, haven't you?
No, I have not met Stan.
No, really, because he's been with he's been in the Philadelphia conferences. You have never met him?
No, I'm getting ready. I went last year to the Philadelphia one conference. I'm going again this year.
Have you ever gone to the Pittsburgh one?
No, because that's only a day, and it's pretty far from where I'm at.
Okay. I was just wondering because he's noticed a lot of activity in the Chestnut Ridge area of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And a lot of reports of UFOs and loud noises and cryptic creatures. Now, is there any reports like that in Philadelphia?
Not in Philadelphia, but I used to be in Jersey a lot all the time. They had the Jersey Devil over there.
Yeah, the Jersey Devil.
That's their big one. When I was in the Boy Scouts when I was younger, we used to go camping in the woods out in Jersey, deep Jersey. And, we used to play games all the time and see how long someone can last by themselves in the woods with the Jersey Devil out there, and then you come running out of the woods. But yeah, not too much paranormal. Not in the city of Philadelphia, maybe on the outskirts.
What do you feel about this Jersey Devil? Do you think it's UFO related, or is it some kind of elemental or a creature from a different dimension that goes through portals?
I don't know. I mean, it could be. I believe that, it's all connected in some way or another. You know what I mean? I do believe that, even if it's an ET or if it's the paranormal or if it's Bigfoot, I believe in some way or another they're connected in one way, so I don't know. It could be like a Bigfoot, it's a cryptid. So I don't know.
Trish, what did you want to say?
Oh, when he said he was a Boy Scout.
Uh-oh.
And earlier when we were talking about the MK Ultra, they had secret detention camps.
The Boy
And
Scouts.
that's been back since the early 50s. And
The Boy Scouts?
well, no, MK
Okay.
Ultra. But what I was going to say in regards to that is, and a lot of those started with the what was it, the Nuremberg trials in 47,
Oh,
ironically.
yeah.
But there's been a pattern of and they always blame like the Boy Scouts organization and all this other stuff, or whatever summer camp or church camp or whatever it is. And I was recalling like when I was at church camp in Arizona when I was little, and there was a mountain and there was a lake, and I was pretty far from my home. I mean, I was like a few hours, so it's not like I was anywhere close to my parents or anything. And I I was like struck by lightning there, which is that's a lot of abductees say stuff like that or shocked or whatever. But do you think that there's a correlation between, and whether it's like the military type of abductions or extraterrestrials, because there's so many camps that there have been either crimes or a lot of the kids go missing, or I mean from the early 40s 50s until present day? Do you think there's a correlation between that? Because you always hear of them drawing kids into the woods and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, we see stories about that on paranormal shows a lot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Talked about, I mean, if you really want to, there's a couple different rabbit holes we can go down with this one.
Oh, yeah.
The cabal and the secret people that are, the rich people that steal children, and
Oh,
you can
yeah.
go that
Oh,
route.
that's because they suck their blood.
Yeah, and they drink blood. But yeah, I mean,
Or the
I
ones in the hills, I guess, but
stories
that's
are
all.
real, and if you want, you can compare that to the similar, missing 401 cases where people just are in the woods with their
Yeah.
family. I mean,
Hey,
they're only
Jeff. Oh,
5, 30 yards away, and people disappear without a trace. Especially
Hey,
the
Jeff.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, you were getting back to your story before you had that sleepwalking, whatever, and you've been studying the aliens for such a long time. Was there a point in time where you thought they were just watching you and you had to look behind your back?
During this whole thing?
Yeah. I mean, since you started with Mufon.
I mean, I've always thought that I was being watched from something.
But did it make you nervous? Did it make you weird?
I don't recall. No.
Okay, cool.
No. I mean, I got to really think. I never really thought about it that before. That aspect of it. But no, I really don't think that I've been afraid or thinking something's watching me and I got to hurry up and no.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've ever tried this, but when something's there, an interesting thing I started doing a long time ago, so with smartphones, especially because they can pick it up, and a lot of people think, it's a spirit or whatever, but here's how you know if it's an extraterrestrial, because if you point your phone where you think it is, where you sense it, and your phone detects, a face or whatever, the way it does that. Well,
Yep.
I knew back then that they were highly sensitive. I used to wear perfume and everything to bed, all kinds of oils and stuff, because I knew they didn't want to get near me
Yep.
if I was. So what I'd do with my phone, like I'd hold it up and I'd be like, I would see the picture finder thing, and I'd spray them with like Lysol or like air freshener or something, and
Right.
it would like glitch out my phone. And I mean, they did get angry at me for that, but it did work. And so I knew it wasn't a spirit because they would have been affected by that. So
Right. So it's funny you said that. I'm heading a project right now that I started in October. It's called Project BATTech 404. Stands for battery technology, and 404 is a normal error code that you get with tech. And we actually are researching and investigating electrical malfunctions associated with UFO sightings and encounters. So we have
absolutely.
actually created an entire database. I handpicked a team, and we've been doing it ever since October 1st. And we're getting a lot of really cool cases coming in, smart watches and Sirius XM radios going off, and vehicle cases. And we got statistics now. CUFO sent us some information, which was really cool. We got a scientist on board. And we're finding a lot of good information out about this stuff, you know.
But people can do that too. You know, there's highly there's people that literally drain watches and things. I didn't know if you knew that.
Right.
Uh,
Well,
to
we only take
differentiate between a person's energy and
or an ET, you know. So we make sure there's a craft in the vicinity to take the cue.
I see. Yeah.
So how's this project coming? How's it coming along? Are you progressing?
It's a public project, so we have a website. You can go and check it out. And we do share most of the cases, some of the cases that we have researched and done on the case of the projects link. And then we just released a short report on diesel engines from what's the year? I think it was 1974, because there was cases of normal combustion engines and diesel engines, and there would be a UFO sighting, and the diesel engine would not shut down, but the combustion engine would. And we found out that this happened all the way up until 1974, and then stopped. And then after that, diesel engines were being affected. So I went and I did my research, and I found out that in 1974 was the first important U.S. federal emission standards that were applied to diesel engines. So they actually changed the technology of the engine, which made it then be affected by UFO encounters. So we're trying to get into those engines and see how they were made, and maybe we can come up with something to, we're going to continue the research, but come together with some kind of way to prevent this from happening to our electronics during these encounters.
We should talk. I just talked to somebody the other day about the diesel engine thing, and they had converted a car that was gas, an older vehicle that had a gas engine or whatever, and they added the diesel as so they could use both. So technically they could go
that's weird.
I don't know, over 1,000 miles in one trip. That's why they did it for better fuel efficiency. But kind of like the shut off, how you have the hybrid vehicles for electric and gas.
Right.
Maybe you could do that with gas and diesel.
Yeah, it's weird because diesel engines take one spark. It hits off of a coil, or your spark plug. It hits and then it starts the engine and it keeps it going. Where a combustion engine, it needs electricity to run. So it's weird how you can convert both of those into one. That's interesting. Really interesting. So we also got other statistics too on the distance of these UFOs during electromagnetic cases, the event duration of these things. I think the number, it's probably a little higher now, but like 1.5% of UFO cases are EM cases. And it seems small number, but it's actually a really large number. There's thousands of cases of it. So we're getting more and more information. And I mean, the people that are reporting and finding other organizations that have information on this has just been a great help. And we're actually trying to bring some more people on now because we have so many cases and so many historical cases that we need to, document so we can get the information. And we did it in a system. So it's in an Excel system in Google. So then, we have certain rows in that, so we can just take that and then make that into a graph automatically with the statistics if we want. So when we're at that point, we can give that out to the people. But we just did the whole diesel engine report on the website. I just published that on there along with some of the other statistics, so you can check that out. And then we were also looking at some of the substances found after UFO landings. We found organic carbide, not regular carbide, organic sulfur, and then there was chemicals used to protect against heat, which were actually used on NASA when they would when the shuttle would come in and re-entry, which was really interesting because it's like, is that some of our own technology we're finding at these landing sites? So there's a lot of different stuff that's been coming out of this, and a lot more questions, but it's a little bit more answers as well, you know. But,
What did you say the website was for that group that you're in?
BATTECH 404. Actually, hold on, let me see. I'll write it in the chat for you.
Oh,
That's it. Or project. It's project battech404.wordpress.com. But yeah, it's interesting, man. And we're also finding out. My assistant director fell upon this. She is finding that a lot of electricians that are electricians and do work with electricity are actually having events happen with them, and we're not sure if it's happening because they're around that energy all the time, or if it's just because it's a random thing that we're finding. But we've been finding a lot of different electricians with this, so there's some pretty cool stuff coming out of it. And I really think it's nobody else has really jumped on this bandwagon yet, so that's why I did it. And I had a sighting when my phone malfunctioned, which sparked this whole thing. So that was pretty cool.
Do you think it's, nobody's done, I know with me, I was terrified, not because people would think I was crazy, definitely that, I didn't as much worry about that, about coming forward. I mean, I think there's a lot of scientists and highly, intelligent people that this has been going on forever for, that would have a lot of good information, but they're also, they've been threatened about coming forward and things like that.
Well, our
But
scientist hasn't come forward. He's working behind the scenes with us.
yeah, I can
Yeah,
see
we
that.
put him out there, so we respected that. But
Hmm.
he's still helping us. I'm in constant contact with him on a weekly, if not every day basis. So it's so good to have him there. You know,
It's crazy stuff. I think it's just connected to the energy of electricity, and so many paranormal stuff is connected to that. Not just UFOs or
yeah,
ghosts.
paranormal, everything.
It's amazing. I know some people like myself that I can mess up electrical appliances. It's because I can make things. I used to work at a school district, and I took care of the copy machines. Anytime I'd go near the copy machines, they would stop working. I touch
Huh.
the copy
They
machine,
knew you were coming.
the power goes out. I blow fuses, like my microwave. If I touch it, it goes off. I have to go hit the, what do you call it, fuse box. That's kind of
Why do you
crazy.
think
So
that?
do we
Jen?
think the UFOs and everything are attracted to all this electricity and EMF because maybe, way back in the day before electricity, they're obviously didn't know what it was, and now it's getting more and more powerful. Might be drawing them in. Like, what is this? What are these, aliens as humans? What are they creating?
Yeah,
You know,
a heartbeat. Especially Robert Salas came out with his National Press Club in September. I just recently interviewed him on some. I was a co-host on some of these shows, so we got to talk to him about it. And they were shutting down nuclear weapons and ICBM missile silos with the Blink Eye. And what we got to remember about these nuclear weapons and these ICBM missile silos are that they're not just on one box. These nuclear weapons and these missiles are on individually sparked, manuals. So they have to be shut off individually, not just, all at once. It can't be
Yeah,
done.
well,
They shut it down completely.
they're more intelligent than us. I think they know what electricity is. I mean,
Right.
they're highly intelligent beings, and they probably put us to shame.
But even humans could technically, we wouldn't even need power grids and stuff. Technically, humans themselves could power the entire world, probably, I don't know how many times over, with just our own energy. So,
Yep.
so I 100% believe, because I have been warned about this by some sort of whoever, something, that there are some that come here to harvest humans and all of that,
Oh, I
and
believe that.
yes, use our energy and our whatever. So I do agree with that. But on the same note, it always makes me skeptic to.
They're just using us for experiments. That's all. That's all they're doing is experimenting on us, probably to try to figure out how we can destroy us.
Did
What
we ever wonder how far the UFOs have traveled to come to Earth? Possibly
light
the ones that
years.
haven't been here. You know, how did they find us in the first place? The universe is so big.
They've all been here. We're
'Cause
like the
they probably
universal four.
populated us. They probably populated the Earth. We're probably their
Wasn't
offspring.
NASA saying something about there's like 5,000 more Earth-like planets out there or something?
Mhm.
You know, so is there more life on all those planets as well? We don't
You
know.
guys have a big awakening because I'm going to tell you how it is.
How
All
is
right,
it,
you
Jenny?
tell us.
Come on,
How is
let's
it?
hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, I still believe I'm probably going to burn in hell for this, but I believe that I'm going to get flack right now. I can't say it.
Oh,
That Jesus Christ is from a different dimension. He is the alien. He populated Earth. He rose from the dead because he went on. He was taking up. Think about it. Then light picked him up, took him to wherever he's at. Come on, people. You got to think about it. Think about it. I shouldn't put talking about this on Holy Week.
Didn't you say you were a Catholic?
I am.
He was a
How
he
are you going to say Jesus is an alien?
That's why
Yeah.
I get a lot of flack for saying that, because I believe 100%. I believe in Jesus Christ, the Lord Savior, also, but I believe he's extraterrestrial, and heaven is the home planet. Okay,
I
said
believe
it.
angels
I-
are extraterrestrial.
angels, yeah.
I'm gonna
You know
burn.
what? God bless
She's
you,
right.
Jen.
Somebody said she's right.
Well, even in the Bible, though, there's
Think
it's
about
all.
it, Trish.
Well, yeah, they taught in the Bible. It says that I know people are going to be like, "What? Trish knows about the Bible?" Okay, people like.
You just
but they talk. It talks about these metal lights and stuff coming down from the heavens and all the
well,
bronzed beings and all of that. So
no, I totally believe it. There's a movie called is it The Fifth Element? The Fifth.
Yes. Fifth
And
Element.
the end of the movie,
Yes.
when they said that he says, "I am."
Yeah.
I get chills when I say that, because I truly think that all this stuff that we're seeing, these UFO sightings, it's been seen all over. It's been seen from the beginning of time in the paintings where Christ is on the cross,
Mhm.
and then you see a UFO flying overhead. He rose from the dead. What do you think these people say? I was picked up by the light, taken somewhere.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And I know if I can get into if I get into these conversations with theologians, and they're going to say you're going to burn in hell for saying that's blasphemy. But no, think about it.
I heard a story the other day. Someone was telling me a story similar to this, and they said that God was here and he taught us all what we were supposed to be taught. And when he went in that cave that for those 3 days, he actually went up to the universe, and then in place of him, he left a normal human that looked like him to continue that work, and
Could be.
created us to where we are today.
Could be.
Well, and if you ask aliens, if you ask extraterrestrials, most of them, the peaceful ones, anyways, I mean, it's just like humans, most of them believe in 100% believe in a higher power or like a god of some sort, and they also believe in ascended master types, like Jesus. So, and that concept, Jenny, is also throughout other cultures and religions, and so
Yeah, but even when we had this discussion before, I don't even know how long ago, because I keep going back to it. And I even told my priest one time, I had we were doing Bible studies, and I said, getting back to the Bible, in Genesis, God created the heavens and the earth. Okay. Then he created man in his own image. Well, I think it happened. God created so many different creatures for company. He didn't like them. He didn't feel comfortable with them. So instead of destroying them, he put them somewhere else in the universe. Now we're in the creator's image, but the other ones, he didn't like them. So he just said, you know what? I'm just going to make one in my own image. So we have the Greys, the Nordics, we have he didn't really, he didn't give me hell or anything like that, but he listened to me. I said, Why not? I mean, in the book of Genesis, God created the heavens and the earth on the seventh day. He created man, or is that the sixth day? I can't remember what day it was. But okay, he looked at these creatures. First, he did the grays. Man, I can't sit here all day and talk to this guy. So instead of destroying him, he stuck him in a different solar system. Then he got the Nordics. He says, "You're just a little bit too tall for me. You don't look like me completely. So I'm going to put you here." And then the reptilians, you're more like the snake, the devil, Satan, whatever. So I'm going to put you somewhere else. Instead of destroying them, he put them somewhere else in the universe. Well, I think that's a good story. Okay. I like to believe that. So that's how we have all these different races of aliens. So
I think that's where mythology comes from too, as far as like the Greek and Roman gods, and that's been a theory forever that they were just aliens
yeah,
bigger than normal humans that had all of these gifted abilities. Not all of them were bad, not all of them were good, Of course they had their own fights and stuff too.
that's how I would like to look at it, because he didn't want to destroy these creatures. So he put them somewhere else, and there's our aliens.
Then just go with that, Jen.
I'm going with that.
Whatever makes you happy.
Whatever makes me happy. No, but I don't know. There just seems like, I don't know. There's so much discussion. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to sit down and talk with these guys. Now I'm going to visit her tonight. I'll get now Ashtar. I'm going to have the Nordics and the Greys.
Careful what you wish for.
You're gonna have some spirits come visit you.
Hey, Jess.
Yeah.
Question for you. Is there any what's the ratio of UFOs coming out of the water than being on land?
That's something new. I know there's a lot of research being done on that, because that really came out once the Nimitz were released in the New York Times, because they were seen coming in and out of the water while these pilots were chasing them. And I've heard within the past year that that's something that people are really starting to look into now. Now I know Debbie Ziegelmeyer, who is the state director for Missouri, she wrote a book because she runs the dive team for Mufon. So she actually she's probably the most familiar person with USOs out there.
She's close to me.
Yeah, and she wrote a book about the 5 Great Lakes or whatever, and she wrote another book about the waterways of the United States. So she would be somebody to really look into about that. She's a great person too. I meet her every Thursday night on the FI meeting, so easy to get a hold of and very nice person.
I know here in Pennsylvania that they have a lake. It's the Kinzua Dam. There is report that a UFO actually went into that lake up there.
Okay. So yeah, I mean the biggest one that I know of is the Lake Baikal incident in Russia, when the Russian divers went into the ocean, the lake, and this is all frozen. They had to break through the ice and go down there, and once they were diving down there, they actually bumped into, I think they said 4 or 5 ET beings under the water. And they described them. I mean, there's drawings of them. And when you're diving, you have to slowly come up out of the water, where you get that it's a disease and it can kill you.
Yeah.
They tried to go after these creatures and tried to catch them. And when they tried to throw a net around them, these things made them fly to the surface instantaneously. And I think only one survived out of the 6 of them. So they only had at the time in the ship, they have one of these tubes that actually heal you from that happening, but they threw all 6 in and only one survived. So there was only one guy to tell the story, and then the people up on the deck. So, and it's been documented. So it's pretty interesting. So I think this has been happening for a very long time. And I think that if they're here, they're in our oceans, because 10% of our oceans have been explored. It's 90% left. We're still finding sea creatures.
Now, do you think that they're actually in the ocean or in the lakes or in whatever, or do you think that they're just using that because water, being an element that also has a lot of energy, do you think they're using that as like some sort of another type of portal maybe, or do you think that they actually come from, there's theories about that too, come from the ground or whatever?
I think they have a use for water, and I do think they stay under there either as a base just to stop out here.
Some kind of.
But I know there's been plenty of reports of these UFOs using the water actually having a beam of water going up and something coming back out into the water.
Yeah, there's so much to discover. There's undiscovered.
Either they're pulling their engine, their propulsion system down, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's, we know, with a lot of people have been looking on Google Earth and into underneath the waters and finding structures that don't look man-made. I mean,
Wow.
And I do know that's how they can manipulate humans too. They've told me that before, that because we're mostly made of water, so
right.
that's what makes it easier. Which is also the reason, the mass people that have a higher muscle mass are harder to abduct.
Okay.
Because you have
Maybe
greater
that's why
mass.
I'm not being abducted.
No, I'm serious. That's when I started lifting weights a lot when I was younger. That's like I was literally scared to death, and I'm like, okay, I know that this makes it harder for them, so I'm gonna get stronger.
It's more.
You know what's
suck 'em up
crazy
to
is
the light.
how we developed a craft that was actually able to get to the sun and get up close and personal with the sun, but yet here we are, we don't know it's in our own oceans.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Has
Yeah.
anybody thought of that?
There's so much water.
We could go to the scalding hot sun with a device, to break its atmosphere or whatever, but we don't even know it's in our own oceans.
Right.
Right.
And that's how powerful water is.
Didn't the Air Force come out with a plane that it actually cloaks? You can't see it flying. I read something about that.
I mean, like an invisible cloak, like on water.
Yeah, I mean, there's where they're right in front of people and they see it just, materialize right in front of you.
Yeah, it's a plane.
Look behind you. There's someone behind you too.
Some bitches on your back, Sean.
No doubt. No, go ahead. If you want to laugh about it, go.
I'm not. I'm
telling
telling
you, I
you
read about
serious.
it.
No,
But it's funny, if you raise your vibration, you can see through that cloak. That's
Right.
well known in the metaphysical community. If you detox your body from all the everything else, sugar and caffeine and all those things, preservatives and stuff, that's where a
That's
lot of
why it's
reports
really
come
good
from.
to meditate while you're fasting.
Yeah,
You have
and
a-
then you're able to see through those illusions.
Most definitely. There's so much out there that we haven't discovered yet. So many we're in the most fabulous time of our lives to be able to be part of it.
So I did an experiment with my assistant director because she's an experiencer too, and we just wanted to try something out because she is a part. She's just had a lot of experiences. I've had mine, so we wanted to see if we were both really connected. Had those antennas up to see if we were really receiving or not, or if it was just nothing at all. So we said we'll do the color thing. I'll think of a color and I'll focus on that color and meditate it. Send it to you over brainwaves, whatever. And then next day I'll ask you what the color is. And she did it to me. And we both got the colors right. It absolutely blew my mind. The first time we were like, maybe it was just a weird thing, I had sent a color to her or she sent the color to me. And then, I seen the whole room before I went to bed at night lit up with that color. And it was just, I knew that was the color. This is weird feeling that you just know that's the color, And all night long, I was sending her the color green, the color of a green ET, and she got it. She said, dark green, light green, because I was thinking of the green trash can, and that's how I sent mine. So she kind of got all the different vibrance of green, where I got her direct color. So it was pretty weird. And when something like that happens, it makes you think about how much we can actually do with our brains and what we can accomplish that we don't even know of yet. Our brain is so big and we only use a percentage of it, a quarter of it. What if we can access that other part? They say if we do, we'd be able to fly, we'd be able to make things levitate, all that. So
that would be amazing.
We should do that tonight.
Have you researched? So one of my experiences, they told me that different types are represented by different colors. Have you ever heard of that?
Different types of, I know the chakras, but
No. I mean, there's like major planets or races or whatever of extraterrestrials. It's almost like in in our world we have NATO, and we have that represents different, or like every country has their own flag and stuff. There's different extraterrestrials that represent different colors.
Oh no, I've never heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard that before.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Well,
neither.
I mean, extraterrestrials communicated that with me, and it made like they showed me all these examples and stuff. But it's funny you say that because that's another thing. Phil and Julia, I was telling that when I said something about colors, and that's the town they live in is where the Crayola coloring.
Do you
Oh,
know
that's
what the
amazing.
colors are? Do you know what the colors are for each? Do you know what the different colors are, or any of them at all?
I think so. At one time, I was channeling and I wrote it down somewhere. I forget things so often now that.
Because I know there's people out there that can read your color and
Oh yeah, like
Oh,
your
your
aura.
auras. Yeah,
color,
your auras.
your shot, what chakra you are. All. So that's interesting.
But I'm wondering, and then it goes deeper, down that rabbit hole. Like, if certain entities represent colors, are those entities, based on the color spectrum of even our chakras and stuff? Can they control only those chakras? You know what I mean? Like, then you get into all of that.
There's a lot of rabbit holes in there.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. But I love being a part of MUFON, man. It was the best choice I've ever made in my life, really. To become a part of something that you're so passionate about, and it's not even really work, man. It's really because you're so interested in it. It's just what you love to do, and it's a great program to be a part of.
Yeah, you're lucky you found MUFON in your district. Not all of them are that good.
No, that's true. Yeah, Pennsylvania is 7th all time in total UFO sighting.
Yeah,
You have to let us know the next time you're towards Pittsburgh so we can take you on a paranormal investigation.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to.
Good.
Never done that before, so that'd be pretty cool.
Well, Jesse, tell us where our listeners and viewers can find you if they want to learn more about you or listen to one of your podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it. You could find me on my podcast, which is UFO Encounters Worldwide. It's on mostly all major podcast platforms and KGRA Digital Broadcasting Radio. So you can find me there. I also have the website for the podcast, which is ufoencountersworldwide.wordpress.com. And if you want to report, you can go onto our project page. There's the ways to report EM case to us, and this way we'll investigate it for you. And we also got a merch store and all that kind of good stuff. So check that out.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes,
Jesse.
thank you.
And you
Very
have a great
informative.
night.
All right, you guys all have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was. That was a very
Yeah,
good
for
show.
sure.
Damn good show.
So you guys, what do you think? Your final words on this? Final comment?
To be honest with you,
the burns and the sexual encounters with the aliens.
we'll be dead before all this shit comes to light. So
You think?
I ain't worried about it. Yeah.
Wow, you're so. I don't think so. I think they're gonna. I think maybe
Just
in our
imagine
lifetime.
500 years from now.
Yeah.
What do you
You know.
mean? 500
that's
years
when
from
it's
now,
gonna
it's going to
happen.
be
That's
like.
what it's all going to be like.
No,
in
it's going to be like
500
Mad
years.
Max. I had a dream last night, and I think it's going to be like Mad Max, not in the near future. And I didn't like that dream. It's kind
Well,
of
I'm going to find a cave,
Like
put
how-
some water and food in it. So
what?
I'm going to get a cave and I'm going to sit in it.
cave.
I'm going to be none. Yeah.
Well, I'm moving
You
to
look
the
like
woods.
you're in a cave right now there, Pap.
Yeah, I am.
I'm
buddy.
going to move to the woods somewhere. No, it was really depressing. Well, I don't like it. You ever watch Mad Max?
Yeah, that was good.
Did you watch it? You guys should go check it out.
It's a good show, Trish. It's a good show. It's a good movie.
I keep thinking the movie Mad Max.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Mad Max with Mel Gibson.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
a road
very
warrior.
good. Well, that's what it was like. In
Tina
my
Turner
dream.
was in it too.
Every time those movies come on, I watch them. Every single time.
It wasn't a very good experience. No, I think we're gonna live to see it. I just think everything's falling apart right now, and like there's so much. Like I totally believe that somebody's like controlling it. I don't know. Sort of maybe it is MK Ultra. I don't know.
Could be. It also could be the the government. The way I look at it. I mean, And I know we don't talk politics, but I'm telling you, 2024, the world will change. I will tell you, I'm predicting it right now.
Okay,
You know, with all the crap that's going on the planet, and Jenny, you were talking earlier, you know, like what God created, you know, too
Yeah.
tall of beings to
I
put themselves.
totally believe that.
What if we are those other beings that he just doesn't want and put us on,
Oh,
our own planet?
maybe we are.
Because I mean, with all the crap that's going on out there, it wouldn't
I
surprise
wouldn't
me.
be surprised if we were the bad.
It's like the human race was like
We're like the ant farm that never could.
we were created on a drunken Saturday night.
Yeah, we were.
We're the A team over here. Okay, I'm like,
If that's the case, might as well just quit now, right?
No.
This light's
So when do you
bothering
think
my
this is
eyes.
going to happen, Jen? Honestly, I'm being honest with you.
Well, thank you, Sean, for being honest.
What
do you mean?
When do you
What's
think
gonna
this
happen?
is going to happen? All this crap.
Well, I think they're preparing us little by little. They've been preparing us for the last couple of years with all these disclosures. I truly think that either they have them, maybe they have some beings and they're gonna let them loose.
Okay.
And then you'll be right, like World of Wars, those little monsters come chasing after us.
we should tell our listeners about Project Bluebeam just in case they pull that one off.
Oh, well, we've done Project Bluebeam. We might be go ahead, Sean.
It's when the government, puts what they holograms
It's
up
like
in
it's a hologram. It's like people you see them on Facebook. You've seen them on YouTube and TikTok of an angel in the
I
sky.
have pictures of stuff like that.
Yeah, they're not real. That's what that Project Bluebeam is, and they might just say, "Oh, there's an alien attack," but you can't prove it.
And then there'll be another world war of the world.
They're gonna lock us down. They'll say it's an alien invasion, and they want the new world order. All this stuff. They want one government, one currency. It's all about the new world order.
Well, I'm glad
there's too much greed out there. That'll never happen.
I don't know. They're already starting. We're already starting to make everything their way.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to be on my show next.
Yes, do tell us. Do tell us.
I'm going to be talking about Earth angels.
Okay, I am an Earth angel.
And
isn't there a song called Earth Angel?
I think there is. And then I'm going to do a meditation.
Oh, good. Because I'm gonna listen for
so
sure.
It's going to
I'm going to do a
45 minutes of
meditation.
silence.
He did one, but he's so comforting. His voice is so comforting. I was out like this. So I'll do the meditation with you.
So
I might not make it.
Yeah, I hope you do make it. I have 3 that I plan on doing.
What do these meditations do, Sean?
They just, make you open your eyes in meditation and see, like with the bird, you're out there in the middle of the meadow, and then you're sitting on a rock and the bird flies down. You get on his back and you fly, just let the bird fly, and he shows you stuff. And then there's the dolphins that you're sitting by a lake with a mountain right at night, and these 2 dolphins come out of the water and they take you to the middle of the earth.
That's amazing.
And then you got the horse, and that's a scary one because you go through the different colors like green, red, yellow, white, and blue, and it's pretty something. You're on the back of a horse, and you have to trust the horse to get you to where you need to go, and that is pretty intense. It is.
Well, that sounds like something I like to do, be on the back of a horse going far, far away.
The whole deal behind that meditation is that you have to trust the horse, because eventually the horse trail is wide, but eventually when you get into the Black Forest, it's like this small, real small. And only the horse knows where to go. And it's interesting.
Well, I want to thank Carnation for sponsoring this last hour. And thank you, Carnation.
Thank you, Carnation.
Yes,
You're
thank you,
welcome.
That's the best
Carnation.
thanks ever I've heard from you.
My battery's starting to go down, if you noticed.
I'm having Rob Gutro on my show next week. He's a paranormal investigator, but he's also primarily an animal medium from
I'd like to hear
Kentucky.
that.
And it's interesting how I was drawn to him. I haven't told him about this yet. As far as they just released all these studies that one of the universities there was doing, or the government or somebody. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was government funded, where they were removing cats' brains.
Oh, great.
And making them walk on a treadmill to see how long, which they 100% were able to stay alive.
That's sick.
And move. But then it makes you wonder what that would create.
That is evil.
Zombie
That's bad.
Animals.
That's
That's
so
just evil.
what's the
It sounds like
you know what I mean?
Fauci.
But I'm saying on a bigger picture, that's terrifying.
That is terrifying because they can do to humans, and I'm going to be on a treadmill without my brain.
What did I say at the beginning? I said zombie apocalypse.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's just as bad as Fauci with the beagles.
And something else about they were cutting their spinal cord as well. And then making them do things just to see.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
Well,
tonight.
no, it was to test something about, and I'm gonna have to research this week, but it should be.
So they want.
I'm gonna ask him if he knows about all
what's the purpose
that.
of this church to make zombies?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I have to listen to this guy. I'm gonna ask him about it.
No, he doesn't know. This is what led me to him. I mean, not that didn't.
Well,
lead
maybe
me
he
to
knows something about it.
Right, and that's what since
So
he's
when
in
you
that
say
area.
he's a pet medium, like I can ask him, say, can you tell me about my dog that died? Like, is he okay? Is he
Yeah,
okay?
probably.
I miss my dog. That was 1982.
Oh wow.
It's a long time ago, but he's still in my heart. He's
I
like,
think that's another topic altogether. I think that because it's happened to my own animals, I think that extraterrestrials and spirits draw animals away and even injure them many times because they're so protective of their humans, and even like cats and stuff, they ward off evil spirits. So there's a bridge. I don't know if y'all have heard of it. I forget where it's at, where there's been hundreds of dogs commit suicide. Like
dogs commit suicide.
Yes, on this bridge. This specific, I
They
forget where
jump
it's
in
at.
the river.
Yeah, and it's been like they'll run out of their house and go jump off the bridge. I mean, it's not just like strays or anything. It's people's pets will get out of their yard and go jump off this bridge, and it's not just it's a very large number. So that's an
crazy.
interesting phenomena. I mean, like what's making them do that?
If Pet Cemetery was real and you could bring your pet back, would any of you consider it?
Nope.
I would.
Well, there's that cat.
If I knew he wasn't going to be a psychopath and kill
Well,
me.
see, we don't know. Like I'm just saying, just what we know about Pet Cemetery.
I don't know. If I don't want him
If
to
you
be
had the
that.
opportunity, to
Nah,
bring your animal
forget it.
back.
He'll come after me and kill me.
Yeah, but what if you had all their teeth pulled?
What
And
do
then
you
they're
mean?
trying to bite you, and it's just like a bunch
No.
of gums on you.
Oh my gosh. I'm convinced like all of Stephen King's books are coming true this year.
You know, it's a full moon coming up. We're all a bunch of wackos tonight. And we're going to ask Mr. Predictor something.
Oh my gosh, it's the flea market 8-ball again.
Mr. Predictor, why find love for true love? For true love.
I didn't hear that. What?
Ask him a question. Hey, Mr. Predictor. Mr. Predictor, what can we ask
Am
him?
I going to have a good outcome in my doctor's visit?
Is Sean going to have a good outcome in his doctor visit?
Without hesitation, yes.
You're going to.
Are all of Stephen King's movies going to come true this year?
I would not count on it.
Langoliers.
Yeah, it'll take about 5 years. It's fine.
Jason, your turn. Come on, Jason. Come on, Jason.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Will
Anybody got
Jason
anything?
get 2 more trucks?
I just bought one on my birthday.
I know you.
Everything points to yes.
I'll ask it something. I'll say no, of course. Mr. Projector, I have my script being looked at by a new producer. Will anything happen in the positive?
Without hesitation, yes.
Good.
There you go.
Yes, I am sure.
Stay there, he's sure. Thank you. Thank you, old Lord.
Okay.
Oh my.
Well, Sean, you can go ahead and go home.
All right. Don't forget, everybody, if you tune into the night.
Into
with
the
Sean
night.
Kelly.
Make
Are you
sure
going to keep the blanket up for next week?
No, I'll find something else. Who knows? Maybe I'll be dead by then.
Maybe he's building a fort, Jason. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
I already know the
love
backstory.
sports.
So.
I'll see y'all. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
Sean.
night.
Sean.
Let's kick him out of here. Whoa, it's
Kick
too
him out of here.
I just so bloodshot. Okay, so we have next week. What do we have? My calendar's not here. Figures I got rid of it. Oh, here it is. See what we have next week's show. Okay, that we're going into the last month, the day of the month, right? We have
What?
Jerry Sargent. He is you're gonna like this one. Trish, this is up your alley.
There's still 2 weeks left, right?
Well,
Am I?
no. Oh my God, I'm losing my
Yeah.
mind. Okay, yeah, you're
Right,
right.
yeah.
So Jerry Sargent is not. This is Ron Kinzel. You're gonna find out about him. But Jerry is the last of the month, the 26th. He's a metaphysics. You're gonna like him. He does all that energy work. Are you guys having any plans for Easter?
Oh, probably just the normal. Nothing crazy. Some
You
family
do
kind of
You
stuff.
do the Easter bunny hunt?
Well, yeah, with the 2-year-old now, it is pretty fun. We just went on a local Easter egg hunt on Saturday. It was cool, except that it was raining and cold outside. But
Oh.
he had a blast, and got a bunch of eggs and stuff. So it was a good time.
Good time. Trish,
Yeah.
do you do anything in the pagan world for Easter? Is it like some kind of like a celestial spring event or not?
Oh, well, remember our Easter was
That
gosh, I don't even know what week it is now. A few weeks ago.
Christmas, the Easter solstice.
I'll stare at.
Okay. My eyes are so bloodshot. Okay. We're gonna call it a night.
What were you doing over there?
It's caffeine and I don't know.
Can never have enough
I
caffeine.
gotta make up my mind whether I'm gonna keep this.
So I was watching Destination Fear the other night.
Oh, yeah.
And one episode seemed pretty cool. I want to check into it actually. Is the was it the Bushy Mountain Penitentiary down in where is it? I can't think of it now.
Ohio.
No, it's down south a little bit.
Destination Fear. What is that? Is that on?
Yeah, it's just a show, another paranormal show. And but they were showing the Bushy Mountain Penitentiary, and this prison is literally in a valley of mountains with one way in and one way out. And
Wow.
they built it as an upside down cross.
Ew, I don't like that.
As to send a message to the inmates, saying that they aren't worthy. And
yeah, that would send them a real good message.
yeah, this place looks totally creepy. And they were talking about, the bad guys that would get, sent to the hole for a while. There was absolutely zero light, like no sunlight, no lights at all. And a lot of them end up going blind after being down there for a couple months and stuff. But it looks like a lot of paranormal activity out there. So I think it's, on my bucket list.
There you go.
And head down there.
There you go. All right, guys, we're going to sign off. See you next week.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining Torture Tuesday.
Yeah, next week we'll have we're going to have Jason do well, we don't need, all I need to do is add the picture, right? For the ending. for Trish to be on it. Trish isn't on the picture for the ending. Our ending. She's not on it.
That's all you there, Jenny.
I know. I have to. I have to figure it out. I'm not. Okay, here's the ending. So next week we'll have share. I just called you share. Next week we'll have Trisha's picture on. So let's go ahead. Thank God. Jeez. Okay.